Hello students and welcome to tonight's Flip Math. Today we are continuing our study of multiplication. If you will open your math journal to your next clean page and write down the title Multiplication, 2-digit by 2-digit, and also record your learning objective. I can solve a 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication word problem using algebraic and expanded notation models. Please pause the video as you write this down. Let's look at the expanded notation first. The word problem we're dealing with today says, in a bag of objects the fourth graders are using to test for electricity, they found that 18 of the objects were insulators. If the teacher created 21 bags of test objects, how many insulators are there altogether? So the first thing I want to do is I want to write down my equation. My equation is 21 times 18. Pause the video as you write down 21 times 18, just like I have written it into your math journal. Next, you will see that I have written each of those numbers in expanded form. 21 becomes 20 plus 1. 18 becomes 10 plus 8. Pause the video as you record down the expanded form of these two numbers. In the first step of expanded notation, I want to look at the two numbers that I have in the arrows. So I'm going to multiply 20 times 8. And I'm going to write that down below. 20 times 8 is equal to 160. Pause the video as you write that down. My next step is to look at my tens place. This time I'm going to multiply 20 times 10. And you'll see that I've written that below. 20 times 10 is equal to 200. Make sure you pause the video as you write that down. My third step is to then multiply 10 times 1. And you'll see that highlighted in the arrow. And I've written it below. 10 times 1 equals 10. Remember, the identity property says anything times 1 is equal to that number. Then I have one more set of numbers that I have to multiply. You'll see in my arrows that I did 1 times 8. So 8 times 1 is equal to 8. Remember, that identity property says that anything times 1 equals that other number. My next step after I do that is to add all of my partial products together. So I'm going to add 160 plus 200 plus 10 plus 8. Go ahead and do that in your math journal and see what you get. If you got 378, you would be correct. And remember, we always want to write our final statement sentence with our answer in it. Our final statement should read, so there are 378 insulators all together. That's it. You have just practiced the expanded notation method. Now, let's move on to the algebraic method. Our word problem for this method reads, the Wells Fargo building has 27 floors. If each floor has 68 electrical outlets, how many electrical outlets are there in the entire building? You'll see that I've written down my equation, 27 times 68. Pause the video as you write it, just like I have written vertically in your math journal. Sorry, my mistake. You're writing it horizontally and not vertically. Sorry for that mistake, folks. My next step is to write those two numbers in expanded form. You'll see that I have divided 20 into 20 plus 7 times 60 plus 8. Pause the video as you write that down. My next step is to then use what we call the distributive property. We are going to multiply 20 times 60. You'll see that right underneath I'm showing the partial product of what 20 times 60 is. That is 1200. Make sure you're writing this down as we do each step. Now, the next step is to take that 20 and multiply it times that other expanded form of the 68. So I did 20 times 60. Now I'm going to multiply 20 times 8. And you'll see that I've written it right underneath. 20 times 8 is equal to 160. Pause the video as you write that down. After I have done that, I've got to take my next set of numbers and multiply those numbers together. Now I'm going to multiply the 7 times the 60. When I multiply 7 times 60, you'll see that I have 60 times 7 is equal to 420. We have one more step to go, actually two. Now I have to multiply 7 times 8. Those are my last two factors that I have to multiply together. 7 times 8, that should be one of those quick facts that we know. 7 times 8 is equal to 56. Am I done yet? If you said no, you would be correct. Now I have to take all of my partial products and I have to add them together to get my final product. You'll see that 1200 plus 160 plus 420 plus 56, all together they equal 1,836. And my finishing statement should read, so there are 1,836 electrical outlets in the entire building. Make sure you have recorded all those steps down. If you would like to, you can use colored pencils or crayons to show your arrows and the numbers that you need to multiply together, if that will help you better understand. Now it is your turn to practice. In your math journal, right underneath your notes, you are going to solve these two additional multiplication problems. You are to use the expanded notation for number 1 and algebraic model for number 2. Be prepared to show those two methods tomorrow in class. Have a great evening.